Hello and welcome to the Creabea Knitting podcast. Hi, my name is Rebecca. I'm a knitter and knitwear designer based in Edinburgh, and this is a vlog or a vlogcast all about knitting, what I'm currently knitting on, what I've been knitting on, and what I'd like to cast on in the not too distant future. We have got so much to talk about today. I made myself a list. I never make myself a list, but I'm worried I'm going to forget things, so I have written everything down. I got pattern release, a magazine pre-order, a test knit call, a bunch of newly cast on things, some giant swatches, yarn deliveries, like everything. So yeah, we normally keep this under an hour, but I'm not convinced we will do that today. And I'm going to try not to rush. I have a habit of speaking very quickly, so I'm going to just try and take deep breaths, get through this at a reasonable pace, and hopefully share everything that's going on with you. So the very first thing is the most exciting thing of the day, which is that I have a pattern coming out today. It is the Rhue sweater. It's the sweater I'm currently wearing, and it is my first pattern release of 2024. I've got a bunch of pictures, so I'll put them on like a cycle as I'm talking. The Rhue is a top-down contiguous construction raglan sweater knit in two colours. So contiguous construction, I'll put the side that's got more light on it. You can see there's almost like a saddle here. I don't know if you can see that very clearly, but again, I've got pictures of this. And it's honestly, it's not dissimilar to a raglan, but you increase just on one side first to shape this panel, and then you increase for the sleeve. And it creates almost like a set-in sleeve look as opposed to a raglan. And there are some raglan increases under the bottom, but you'll see it gives me a very straight line down the arm. It also makes for quite a fitted, this bit, yoke, shoulders, bicep is more fitted than it would normally be with, well, for me it is with a raglan or especially with a drop shoulder. And it's quite like sturdy, but I think I like it a lot. I think it's very clean. I think this shoulder shaping is very pretty. It's the first time I've done this construction, and yeah, it was really interesting. It was fun to do, and what's quite nice is that for the most part you're working in the round, so you have a little bit of working flat, but only marginally more than you would have with like short rows in a raglan. So it means that you can have this interesting and contiguous construction, but you can have colour work that you don't have to work flat, which I love because I don't really like working colour work flat. So yeah, this is it. It has a handful of motifs, so it's got like this motif here, and then this one is duplicated, this giant one, and then one at the bottom. And on my version, the colour runs all the way down to the bottom of the sweater. There are some testers who have just done the motifs and they've duplicated this one on the sleeve and they've gone back to the main colour. So they've just done it with like a colour work motif instead of changing colour, which I think is really cool. And yeah, what else to say about this? My sample is in the fibre company Lauder, which was beautiful. I had the first time using this yarn, and I ended up so well. I'm not like the best colour work knitter. I do sometimes have tension issues, especially on small circumferences. I think that's something to bear in mind with this, is that the small circumference sleeve knitting is a challenge. It's a good challenge if you want to improve your colour work. And some testers did it inside out and they had like great success with that. But yeah, just that is probably the trickiest thing of this whole pattern, is maintaining colour work gauge on the sleeves. And I find that before I block my colour work, it does not look good. Some people just knit colour work and it looks great, and then it looks the same the whole way through. Mine needs a good block for it all to like even out. This did that magically, this yarn. So would definitely recommend from a knitting perspective. I don't really wear my samples much before I take pictures. I'm just a bit panicky that something's going to happen to them. So this is now out of wardrobe purgatory. I can now wear it as much as I want, which is quite nice. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, up until like pattern release day, it only really gets worn like in my house or like on one or two occasions when I've just finished it and I'm very excited. And after that, I tell myself to put it away, wait till pattern launch, wait till all my numbers are sold, like wait till the whole process, and then I get to wear it as much as I want. So I'm very excited. I'm going to be wearing this all weekend. We took pictures with Jasmine, who is ever incredible, and it was really lovely. We met last Sunday. It was fun because myself and Ode, who is Bubbles and Berries on Instagram and on YouTube, have made the same colour scheme, but I think her version is in Jameson and Smith held double. And then Maggie, who is Scott Knit and Leslie, who is Kelpie Sprite on Instagram, had made ones in completely different yarns, but they're almost an inverse of each other. So one is like burgundy and sort of pinky purple, and one is pinky purple and burgundy. So it was really nice to see that. It was really fun. Like it's never planned, but it's always really fun to see. What else did I say? Oh, there's on my notepad, there's a code down below for a discount, and if you apply to test knit this, there is, you weren't selected, there should be an email in your inbox with an exclusive discount code for a little bit extra off. There's also, I want to show a version which was knit by Venetia of the Woolly Worker podcast and on Instagram, which is colourwork free. So she reached out and was like, hey, can I, like, she saw the pattern, and she said she wanted to knit a colourwork free version when it came out, and then she messaged me and said, this might be completely ridiculous, but can I knit your colourwork sweater without colourwork? And I said, yeah, of course. I love showing the variety of a pattern, and especially in the test knit, I think that's great. So yeah, that was really cool. I will definitely be doing it again. I have some red yarn on the way from the Pride and Prejudice collection that I held from Hello Stella Fibres, which is a DK weight red DK weight yarn, and I think I will be making this with no colour work from that one. But yeah, I would definitely take a look at the tester versions. Some people did like a lower, more open neckband, some people extended the yoke, and I've made some changes to this pattern which I have not done in a while. Well, I've never done before. I've added some, I usually give some tips on modifying certain things, but for this one I've put in, for example, in the past, like if you're knitting for men, here are some things to consider. But for this one I included some really explicit notes on if you want the bicep to be larger, because it is a relatively fitted bicep, or if you want the yoke to be deeper, a couple of options for that. And I've also included some videos. They are not my videos, but they are videos from other people who make tutorials on some of the trickier elements, like picking up and folding the neckband or catching floats. So yeah, they're new. We're doing a bit of development, we're trying to get better, and that's all in this pattern. I think that is everything I want to say. The discount code will run until the end of the weekend. And as always, if you are not interested but you want to show some support, you can click through to the Ravelry link, or you can add it to your queue or your favourites. That always does good things for the algorithms. And yeah, I just want to mention, I got a few questions about what yarn people use in the test knit. So I use Fabric Company Lauder. Other great options would be, yeah, Jameson and Smith or Jameson of Shetland held double. Somebody used Pearl Soho Linen Quill held double. Somebody used Rowan Fells Tweed, BC Garn, Hamilton Tweed. There was another one I wanted to mention and I forgot what it was. Can't remember. Woolly Knit held double would also be great, or Holst held double. So there are a lot of like it's a really nice band. This is like a 250 meters per 100 grams ish yarn, and I think there are a lot of really good DK weight substitutes if you're looking for that. So all the information is on the Ravelry page, and yeah, and something interesting is that this is the first pattern that I've ever considered delaying the pattern release for. I had a ridiculously chaotic week, which culminated in, on Wednesday I had to go away for a work meeting, and I left my house at 8 AM and I got home at almost 3 AM because there was train travel issues, and like I just got stuck, almost got stuck in Glasgow. I ended up in an Uber home with 3 strangers. It was an interesting day. I got home, which was great, but I woke up yesterday absolutely exhausted with a small list of things to be done for the pattern, and I thought, do I need to delay this? But I did not. We got back on track. My amazing tech editor got my final edits to me. Like, everything is good. So interesting insight into this one is it almost got delayed, but fortunately it did not. Okay, I think that is everything on my list. If I've forgotten it, then it's my own fault because I didn't write it down. The next thing I'm going to talk about then is theoretically also a pattern release. It is that I have a pattern in Lina magazine issue 20, and it is now available for pre-order. It doesn't go live until March 13th, but all the pattern previews are available and you can have a look at it. My pattern is called Plada. Plada is a tiny island off the south coast of Arran. And I really liked it because I think Plada sounds like plaid, and it's a checkerboard design. So a little bit of a play on that. It also turned out really interesting because when I submitted the magazine, what Lina did at the time was they took submission calls for 3 editions together. So there wasn't really like a mood board, which I think a lot of the time magazines do that. They'll give you a mood board or like a name for the edition, and they'll ask you to like interpret the inspiration. So I didn't know what it was going to be called, and it's called Waterways, and I don't think anyone at Lina maybe knows that it's an island. I'm not sure if they know that, but I thought that was really sweet that it all felt very like apropos. It is a top-down, my design is a top-down colourwork raglan with this like grid pattern, and yeah, I thought it was like fun and cool and very like graphic. It's knit in Biche Bush Le Gros mohair, which is beautiful, and I actually dug out a swatch, not of that pattern, but of another one of my patterns. This is the leftover yarn that I was sent for this. It's stunning. It is expensive. It is like £17 for 50 grams. It's a lot of money. It's beautiful. So if you are looking to splurge on something, or even if you're looking for like a really nice yarn for something simple like the Sophie scarf or like a hat or something, I would recommend this. It's so nice. It's very silky. The drape is incredible. This is the same, almost the same gauge as the sweater. I think it's 1 stitch off. Yeah, something else that's fun about the pattern is that it's all over colourwork, but it has short rows, and at the end you duplicate stitch the rest of the colourwork pattern up along the raglans and along here, so it's super easy. There are no floats to catch. Yeah, no floats to catch. And yeah, I'm really excited. So it is with not Pom Pom, it is with Lina. That is a slip of the tongue. Pom Pom was December, this one is not December. And that is my second of 3 magazines that I am currently, that I've been involved in the past year. So 2 down, 1 to go. Lina were really lovely to work with. I had a really good experience. It is slightly wild to me that the submission call was March 2023. My pattern was delivered, my sample was delivered in August, and then the pattern comes out in March. So the timeline on that is just wild to me. It's really weird. It's weird to see the pictures of the pattern, because I think I've almost forgotten the sweater because I finished it months and months ago. And a funny story about this one is that when I first submitted, they didn't accept it, and then they emailed me back like 2 days later and said, we've shuffled things around and we'd really like your design in the book, which I was very excited by. I was so excited that I didn't read the email properly, and it turns out that they had asked me to send a cardigan, and I sent a sweater. And the only time I found out was when they emailed me and said, thank you so much for delivering a beautiful sample. I thought we agreed on a cardigan. So that was interesting. Yeah, really a bit stupid from my side, but they decided in the end it was going to be steeked anyway, so they could have steeked the sample I sent, but they decided that it was more accessible for knitters to have the sweater in the book. So that is fun. And then I think they maintain the rights until the end of August. So when I publish it independently, I actually also have got way more sizes that were test knit than what is in the magazine. A lot of like in between sizes. And I'll also be publishing a cardigan version. I'll be steeking the sample that I knit for Lina is bigger than me. I think it's like, I don't know, 10 centimeters too big on the bust approximately. But my version is gonna be a cardigan version. I'm gonna do dark grey and white, or like off-white. Is that everything? I think that's everything about Lina. Yeah, there are also amazing other patterns in that one. It's funny because I think with Pom Pom I knew before the fact who else was in it, and I knew all the pictures, and I didn't know anything until I didn't know everything from Pom Pom, but like they sent out the proofs quite a bit earlier and stuff, whereas with Lina I only found out today. They emailed last night and said who the designers were, and then they emailed today with all the pattern pictures, and obviously the previews have gone, and now I get to see like who else is in the issue and what other editions are in there, so that is really fun. So I'm excited. I am going to be taking a walk to Ginger Twist on March 13th. Am I here? Yeah, I'm here. March 13th I'll be taking a walk, and I will be taking a walk and get myself a copy. So that's gonna be fun. Okay, next up, okay, I'm gonna give you a brief respite from me talking about myself. I mean, this is all me talking about myself, but from me talking about my own patterns, to talk about a finished object, which is a pattern, which was nothing, it's not my pattern. This is the Beanie Alba. It is a pattern by, I don't know who the designer is, I'm sorry, I didn't even think to look that up, and I even made notes. I will link it down below. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I made mine in Camarose Snefnug, and it used 72 grams, which I think is about a ball and a half. This is my leftovers from my gala scarf. I really love, sorry, I have really bad hiccups today. I really love the, do I have any? Yeah. I love a 1x1 ribbed beanie. I usually use the Pearl Soho classic rib beanie. I don't love the decreases in that. I just don't think they're that great. I think they're fine, but I don't think they're very like eye-catching. They're not very structural. There's not a whole lot going on. So I was looking for something else, and this is a free pattern I came across. I have since purchased a pattern. I just bought the Petite Knit Weekend Hue for my next version. But this one I thought was quite interesting. It needed a bit of blocking because it's a strange, yeah, so this is the decreases. At the top there are 4, and you decrease, it's free so I can talk about this, you decrease every round. So it made for like a very boxy shape at the top, and like I've blocked it, I've steam blocked it into shape so it stays flat like this. But if I was to try and push it like say the other way, you end up with like very jaggy corners, you know what I mean, like very pointy corners. I don't know if that makes any sense. But with it steam blocking it was fine. So yeah. I think the decreases are, in my opinion, too regular. So you decrease, like I say, every single round, centre double decrease. I don't think it like flows with the fabric very well, but it blocked out. I've got a little hole in the top. I need to, did I weave in my ends yet? Yeah, I did. I've got a hole though, I'm going to have to go back and fix it. So here we go. It's got quite a wide brim. It doesn't look like, it don't look like they have like pointy bits here. You can kind of see that they would be pointy, but they blocked out fairly well. Ish. I think a lot of the patterns like styled it like up, but I don't think I could do that because it's so square. I think it would make it look a bit silly. But I'm happy wearing it pretty snug to my head. It's probably a tiny bit big. Like I feel like if it was, you know, like 2 centimeters fewer, it would probably fit really snugly to my head. But I have a bit of issue with ribbing gauge, so that is a me problem and not a pattern problem. I've not measured if this is remotely close to the pattern. So yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm glad I finished this. I have basically I have one hand knit hat for myself, which is my muscle bra, which again might be a little bit big for my head. So I'm glad to have another one, and I think it looks quite cool. Unfortunately, I knit this in the cold weather snap, and it is now back to being like 10 degrees and I don't need to wear a hat. But I'm glad I've got one. And I've not touched this since I finished it because, again, I want to keep it good for showing on the podcast first. So I'm excited to add this to my accessories box. I started to wear this. It looks pretty cool. So there we go. One finished object. Now, my next finished object, I'm going to do a quick change. Ta-da! This is my Tydes sweater. It is officially, I'm calling for testers. This is my call into the wild. Testers, please come and test. That was really cringe, I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, this is my Tydes sweater. It is a bottom up drop shoulder design with a good bit of ease, and it's knit up in this really fun, I'm trying to show you a bit that's not got the decreases in it because it won't show the stitch pattern very well, like wavy stripe pattern. It has, my version has 2 colours. You can do as many colours as you like. It's a 17 stitch gauge. I, for this version, used Sandnesgarn brushed Alpaca, which was really, really nice to use. I actually have just done the yardage calculation, so I made the second size, which is I think 108 centimetre chest, which gives me 8 centimetres at the bust, and I have got, I think I used 5, yeah, like 4.5 skeins of one and 3.5 skeins of other. So it really does not use up a whole lot of yarn. And it is really fun and it's up pretty quickly. And there's a sweater version, there's also a cardigan version. So I have my swatch, I did start my cardigan. This is my swatch for my cardigan version. The stripes are a different width because I was trying to decide if I wanted to do 6 row stripes or 8 row stripes. I'm going to go for the 8 row stripes. This is that it? I'm trying to find my project bag. I'm surrounded by project bags. So this is Sandnesgarn Sunday, double Sunday, that's the word, with knitting for olive mohair, and this is the Sandnesgarn double Sunday with Gephard mohair, just because they were the best colour matches I could get. And this is, I've not gone very far with the cardigan, I've just done the button band, but I am excited for this colour combination for my cardigan. Yeah, there are, so the colour, there's a cardigan version and a sweater version. Mine are both 2 colours, but you could do 5 colours, you could do every single colour different row, every single stripe a different colour. You could, these are all 10 row stripes, so you could do 2 row stripes or 20 row stripes. You could do 1 colour with 5 and 1 colour with more. There are lots of options. So yeah, I really love this. I am really, really proud of the, I've not woven in any of my ends. You can't really even tell, but there are in pattern decreases down this arm, which I am very proud of because I was really pondering for a while how I was going to do that. And yeah, I really like this. I think it is going to be really fun to wear in spring when it's a little bit warmer, but you still want like a warm cozy layer. And I'm going to wear it with like blue jeans and a baseball cap, I think. Like fun, lightweight and fun. What was I going to say? The test period is 10.5 weeks, so it is a longer test call. I know that that sometimes takes people off, and it's also a bigger gauge garment, and it's only, I think, like size 1 uses like 700 something meters, so it's not a particularly labour intensive pattern, and it is a longer test window, so that might appeal to some people who in the past have not, like the test knit period's not been long enough. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know why, I feel like I should have more to say about this, and I can't think what else I have to say about it. But yeah, this is, I'll put a video of like what it looks like standing up. Ta-da! It is kind of inspired by, oh, that's what I was gonna say, I have a swatch. I thought it would be fun to show the very first like edition of what this cardigan was gonna be. This is my very first swatch. I was going to make a summer t-shirt out of this, and I think I'm going to make a summer t-shirt version of this with like less of a drop, different gauge. I see it. I already swatched it for summer. This is the summer version, but that's going to come later. So yeah, this is where it started. So I thought it was fun to see the development of like, it started here and then it went to here, and then I have a swatch of this, and then it came to this. So it was really fun to do this one with my Christmas Eve cast on, and yeah, I'm really proud of it. It's weird to try my sweater on for the first time whilst filming. I finished the whole thing and tried on 1 sleeve, so I was already confident with the fit and stuff, but it's nice to have the whole thing. It's got a really nice like seamless shoulder, which again is a nightmare to show on camera, but I love how the patterns like match up on that shoulder seam. So yeah, I'll put some video in of me wearing this standing up so you can see what it looks like. But that is a Tydes pattern. The test call is open now. It will be open until Sunday, I think, and it will close. What was I going to say? It's open until Sunday, and the test knit will start on Monday, and it will be 10.5 weeks, and the pattern should come out in 11 weeks from today. So yeah, okay, I'm hearing this all, this is so cozy. Okay, did I say anything about that? Swatches and cardigan. I told you about my swatches, and I did tell you about the cardigan. Oh, and yeah, I showed you this swatch as well, which I'm so excited for. I've cast on some new things this week, but I feel like I've had no knitting time. I finished the sleeve of this cardigan, and otherwise I did so much knitting last week, and I did almost no knitting this week. It's just been, work has been hectic. And then pattern, like getting stuff ready for pattern launch is hectic, and yeah, so I am looking forward to actually getting some time to do some knitting, and I will be working on this, because how fun is that going to be in a cardigan, as a cardigan with like black jeans? Oh, okay. What is next? Lauder. Lauder is next. Lauder. Here we go. So I have a pattern currently in testing. It's all going on, called Lauder Cardigan Vest and Sweater. It is a mega pattern. It is a 60-page document, and the testing started, I guess, just under 2 weeks ago. So I've already made my sweater and I've already made a vest. I have not yet made the cardigan, and the cardigan I'm currently working on. I am using Drops Daisy. I've heard it pills like crazy, so I'm taking that with a pinch of salt. If it does, I don't really mind if it pills, because as long as it shaves okay. So I'm not going to necessarily recommend this yarn because I've heard crazy things about it, but that's also not come from me. Like, I don't know if it's that bad, but I have heard it pills a lot. This is where I'm at. Oh my goodness, I look so nautical and French chic right now with my blue and white stripes and my red cardigan. It's blowing out a lot. It's just the colour red from Drops Daisy, and it's not been blocked, so there's definitely a lot of it's all kind of like you know, and my favourite part about the v-neck is this shaping. So all the shaping is done, oh, it's really blowing out. All the shaping is done inside of that cable, which I really love. So yeah, oh, and like the cardigan, it also has the cable knit around the shoulder detail. So I'm making good progress on this. My goal is to get the body done this week. I think I'm not far off. I'm looking around to see if I can find this tape measure, which I can in my handy dandy pouch. Let's see, I've knit 21 centimeters. I think I want to get this, I'm trying to work out if I want to make this cropped or not. I think the pattern is 35. It will lose a bit of width when I block it because it's going to stretch out a little bit, but I think I want it to hit at like jeans length. So I will probably, actually what I'll do is I'll check my vest and see where my vest is, and I think the vest is the perfect length, so I will knit it to vest length. So yeah, worst case 9 more centimeters, I think probably like 7 or 8 more centimeters. And this is great, I can knit this without looking. So it is really flying. It was like my number one, I was almost like monogamous on this last week. I just flew through it. So I'm so excited to get back to this. I love that my project is in my lobster bag with my red, like this and this is lobster. I love that. It's outgrowing the bag now. It doesn't really fit anymore. This is really quite a dinky bag. It doesn't fit. It is overflowing a little bit, but that is my cardigan version. I also cast on a sweater version this week. I have made virtually no progress. I took 2 projects with me on that day where I had to do the mega travel for work. The whole travel there was like 5 hours. I got very little knitting done because I was working. So I think I sat for like 20 minutes when I first got on the train, drank my coffee, and then I cast this on, and then I didn't knit again until the journey home, and I just basically did the ribbing of I knit my swatch on the train and I knit the ribbing. So I barely didn't touch this one. This is what I have to show you. But I have the swatch. So this is my sample, this is my swatch. I'm making a mohair version, and I'm sizing up. So I'm hoping for like an oversized cable knit mohair version. I was gonna do a v-neck, but I think I just want the round neck. I love a v-neck cardigan. I don't love a v-neck sweater. I find it hard to wear them, but there's already a v-neck vest and a v-neck cardigan. So of course, for the sake of the pattern, there's a v-neck sweater, but I don't know if I'm a v-neck sweater girl. I think I struggle with the depth of v-necks. I've made 2 and I've given them both away. So that is a clear sign of how much I enjoy them. But yeah, the mohair definitely softens it. It softens the cables a little bit, but I still think it's going to be really nice and cozy. I'm using Sandnesgarn Tilia, yep, which I have left over, so that is leftovers. I told myself, this is what I told myself. I told myself I'm not allowed to keep making like 6 samples of things because I don't have space, basically. But if I already have the yarn in stash and I'm not purchasing yarn, then surely I can just make another sample. Like, that's fine. My yarn is really tangled. I'm gonna try and untangle it while we're talking. So this is Laxtons Sheepsoft DK, which is really lovely actually. It is very soft, held together with mohair. So it should be pretty good. It is a little thicker than the pattern, like a bit thicker than the drops, I think, together, but I don't mind that so much. And yeah, I've literally done 1 cable. So I told myself, I'm currently at this stage of knitting where I have a lot planned. And so I have broken down, and because I've got this trip to Australia and New Zealand in late March, I have got quite a lot of pattern work to get done before then. I've got stuff I want to take on holiday, get pictures of while we're there. I've got projects I want to take on holiday and to plan like yardages, like yarn, like what can I pack. And also my mum is getting married in Australia, which is the reason for the trip. My mum's getting married in Australia, Sam's parents live in New Zealand, we're doing it all at once. And I have me and my sisters, we're kind of bridesmaids, I guess. I'm walking my mum down the aisle, which I'm very excited, looking forward to. But I have a dress, a navy blue dress, and I'm making myself a wrap cardigan to wear over the dress. And of course that's also going to have a deadline on it. So I just feel like I want to just make sure I'm on top of things, but it means that I've broken down all my knitting by deadline until March. I have no chill sometimes. And so the goal for this is that the entire yoke, so the whole back panel and the front panel is done by the end of the weekend. Somebody should tell Rebecca that plans that Real Life Rebecca has got a pattern launch today, a test call today, a testers to choose by the end of the weekend, and is running another test knit. So we'll see if I ever get this done by the end of the week, but I will try. And I'm excited. I've not used this bag in a while, and I've just realised this bag's got my very cute little ginger twist shop front pen. They've moved their shop front now. This is their old shop front. It's so cute. Anyway, so that is Lauder. I'm having such a good time. I'm seeing so many great things in the test knit. There's someone making a blue, I think it's Skein. There's someone making a blue vest. Like a cobalt blue vest, which looks amazing. There's someone using, I think it is Labia Corey worsted with like the rainbow tweed speckles. It looks insane. It's got like neon speckles. It's really cool. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with that one. As I said, it's a 62-page document, so it's a pretty hands-on test. Like, there's a lot going on, but I'm enjoying it. It's quite funny because I split the vest and the cardigan into 2 different test chats. But it's, for me, I'm struggling. Like, I keep thinking something's been come up in the other one and it's actually the vest, or it's the vest and it's the sweater. So yeah, that has been more challenging than I expected. But I should have realised when I opened up a test call with 55 people in it in 2 different chats that it was going to be a challenge. So, okay, the last thing, oh no, I have 2 more things. The second to last thing on my needles is in my bag. This has had a surprising, my Strickgephard bag made from recycled saris. I love this so much. I have a giant one which I showed before, and I just haven't used it because I don't think I have anything big enough for this, annoyingly. So, oh, caught my hair. Maybe I should have gotten another one this size. This is my Tolsta sweater, basically. I'm using the Tolsta pattern and I'm going to add long sleeves. I've not added the long sleeves yet, but I will. And this is how she's looking. Oh! So I had a goal this year to try to embrace some more colour. I did my 2023 wrap up of my most worn knits, and one of my takeaways was I want to use more colour. I think I look good in bright colours. I want to use them more. And I thought I was doing a really good job of getting out of my comfort zone, but I've realised everything is basically this colour, or all of them together. So okay, I need to decide what colours I like that aren't just purple and red, but that's okay, we'll get there. I am in love with this. I've knit quite a lot on this, mostly because it is incredibly mindless at this stage. It is just stocking it in the round, and so I found this quite easy to, like, I'm sitting, I've got 20 minutes before bed, I'm going to read my book for 20 minutes. What am I going to do? Pick up this. And that is why it's had so much love. So I don't have a whole lot left to go. I think I've knit 21, I feel like it's 21 centimetres of knit under the arm. No, it's not. It's 18 centimetres. I will probably take it to 30. Yeah, probably 30. 35 centimetres from underarm to hem is my magic number. It's the number I really like. It's the number of a lot of my patterns. That is where I find, like, it's not cropped, but I mean it's a little bit cropped, but it sits nicely with my jeans. So yeah, oh, it's gonna look so cool. It's almost neon, like it's got a brightness about it. I knit the collar too tight, so I went down too many needle sizes ultimately, and it just puckered the fabric. Like, I don't think the collar will fit too tight, but it did pucker, so I steam blocked the collar out a little bit and it's sitting so much better. And yeah, I've not tried this on for a while, so I probably should try that on today actually. Oh, looks so good. I really, really feel like I've not done enough knitting this week. And seeing this just makes me want it finished. It is knit up in Cascade 220 in the colour Orchid and Garn Mohair in the colour Mauve, which are a pretty droomy match. And I just want this done. It is a pretty thick sweater, so it's like it's probably like it's an Aran weight, I'd say. It's worsted with DK. It's a 17 stitch gauge, so it's going to be pretty toasty warm. So I do want this, like where this is 17 stitch gauge, it is 17 stitch gauge but like airy and very breathable. This is relatively dense, and it's all wool, so it's going to be quite toasty. So I do want this finished. I want this finished to be able to wear it while it's still cold. So again, my plan is to have the body of this finished this week. It is Friday. I have plans all day Saturday and all day Sunday. When do I think I'm finishing this? Anyway, a girl can dream. Okay, I have one more like whip and then one more almost whip and then a bunch of yarn. Ugh. So I have another hat on the go. This time it is the Weekend Hue Hat by Petite Knit. However, the Petite... Take a breath, Rebecca, take a breath. Okay. The Petite Knit Weekend Hue Hat has... It's a 1x1 rib, but it has a really nice thing. Has a really nice decrease at the top. And I decided to use those decreases. Sorry, my brain is like 4 seconds behind my mouth today. Usually it's the other way and that's why I talk so fast. My mouth isn't going as fast as my brain is, but today it's the other way around. So I decided to use those decreases, but I'm not following basically the rest of the pattern. It's got like you fold and then you fold it again and then you do the thing at the fold, and I'm just not doing that one because it's got double knitting and I'm too lazy. And I just want a beanie. I want a good nice beanie with interesting decreases, basically. So yeah, I'm using Sandnesgarn. I think this is also Sandnesgarn Double Sunday. I've had this in stash for a long time. I've got 3 balls of this. I don't know what I was going to use it for. And this is the first one, and I've done, I don't think I'll use 3, I think I'll probably use 2. This much. It's something, I don't actually know if this is interesting, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. I knit combination style. And when I knit so I twist my pearls when I rib. And I've unlearned, I was doing it accidentally. I'm now doing it purposefully. But it does mean that on the backside, when you do that, you can see it looks like twisted rib. So for this hat, up until the brim point, you can almost see the line. So this is not combination, this is regular, and then this is combination. Which means that when I find combination easier to knit. So when the brim is folded up, it doesn't look like twisted ribbing, but actually what I'm now knitting is twisted rib on the inside. So it means the brim and the fold will just look like a regular hat, but now I can do the rest combination style. So it's more obvious if I fold it on the inside. You can pretty much see the exact line where I switched from regular, and my combination knitting is much neater, so it just means it's not massively changed gauge. I thought it would change the gauge more than it has. It's not really at all, which probably means I'm getting better at maintaining my gauge purling, which is what I'm trying to do. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that you can see it so visibly. The Six Nations rugby starts today. I'm very excited. Tonight is France Ireland, and tomorrow Scotland are playing, and I've always wanted a Scotland blue beanie, and I almost bought one, but I can never find the one I want. So for the past 2 years I've been watching the rugby, telling myself I'll knit a blue hat. I finally knit a blue hat. We did not get tickets to any of the games. They all sold out. I was really sad. We were online, we had supporters club access, we were ready to go, and they all sold out. So I will not be wearing this to a game, which I was hoping to, but I will wear it to the pub to watch the game. And yeah, we're making progress. Again, it's not really been a priority knit. Everything else has a deadline right now, and this does not have a deadline, so it falls by the wayside, but I will eventually get to it. And that is in my little mushroom bag. Okay, I have one final thing before we get on to the acquisitions, which I kind of was hoping would be a cast on by now. It is not yet cast on. It's also getting cast on this weekend, apparently. I have been deep in pattern design for a design which has been... Oh, my swatch is still damp. Why is my swatch damp? Is this damp? Oh yeah, it was sitting on my other swatch, which is damp. So I had a design in mind for, I think my Corrin cardigan that came out last year was like the first version of this. And then I saw sweaters like this all summer, and I have had this in, like, I've known for like 6 months that I was going to make this cardigan. So it took a lot of development, and I mentioned before, I think I had 18 possible swatch combinations, or 18 possible like swatches I was considering. I'm just getting this all out so I can show you all my swatches. This was my swatch pile that I ended up swatching, and I've now finalised what it's going to be. So it is a lace cardigan. That's all I'm going to say right now, because I'll wait till I cast it on and talk more about it. But I wanted to use a couple of laces together, and so I did like an epic amount of lace swatching over the course of like 3 weeks. Oh, that's the right way around. I love how these are all in this like beautiful, like delicate cream colour. And then I ran out of that yarn by the time I got to my final swatch, and so this is just purple. So this is my swatch. I am super excited for this. This is gonna be a cardigan. It is the biggest swatch I think I've ever knit in my life. Yeah, so there we go. It's gonna be called the Sanna Cardigan, S-A-N-N-A. And the yarn I'm gonna use is Cascade 220, and I'm using this really bright white, which I'm a bit nervous about. It's more white than I thought it would be, but again, I think that bright white is meant to be a good colour for me, so we're leaning into it. I would normally go for like an off-white, like a this colour, but I think this might be, with again, dark hair, like pale skin, I think this bright white might look better and I'll look less washed out. We're gonna see. Worst case, it's white is white. I can over dye this. So yeah, I'm at the stage now where I need to do the maths a little bit and work out what number to cast on and get going from there. But this one I have been documenting like individually, so every time I make a decision or anything I stop and film a bit about it and talk about it. So hopefully I'll have a video at the end of this pattern talking about the whole thing start to finish, which I'm quite excited for. But for now it's just me and my mega swatch hanging out. So I'm so excited for this. It's gonna look so cool. And yeah, that'll be my next. So this is going to testing. This one's going to go into testing early February. Short sleeve and long sleeve versions. My first version is going to be the, I think, short sleeve version in white, and I want to make a long sleeve version in navy. I'm very excited. I have plans. White and navy. I'm clearly in a colour scheme right now, like white and navy, purple and red. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind where I want to be with this. I spent a lot of time swatching. But I found it hard to make a decision. I wasn't in the brain space to make decisions. So I just kept swatching and swatching and swatching. And then I sat myself down one night and said, Rebecca, you're being silly, make a decision. So I knit my mega swatch, and now I'm pretty much ready to go. So we'll be casting that on this weekend. Hopefully. Okay. And with that, that is all my knitting. So that wasn't actually a crazy amount of time. It was pretty reasonable. I have quite a lot of acquisitions though. In the most part it is summer, yeah, so I'll start with the one thing which is not a summer knit or a summer yarn, and then I'll come back to my summer yarns because they're all for the same project. I got a yarn, I'm going to put it all the way over here, let me get it. Okay. I got yarn from Skein and the Stitch, who was the dyer behind my Hobbit, so you can tell I'm not woven my ends in, they're just freestyling. It's okay. I got yarn from Skein and the Stitch in their, it was the person who dyed the Hobbit advent calendar, and this is the ACOTAR collection, or like, it's not really just ACOTAR, it's the mass universe. So ACOTAR is a book series called A Court of Thorns and Roses. The author of that book has written 2 other books that are in the same universe, and her name is Sarah J. Maas, and so it is called the Massiverse? I don't know which one. I have 3 things of this, but I don't know what the third one. So I have these 2. These are from my favourite character from the series, which is Aelin. It's called Fire-Breathing Bee Queen. Yeah, I'm not going to say it out loud because people have kids and stuff, and yeah. Fire-Breathing Bee Queen, which I love. She's just amazing. She's super cool. She's the coolest character. She's the character growth. She's such a badass. It's amazing. I like how I said I wouldn't swear and then I still said that word anyway. So yeah, these are my colours. They are like, they have this beautiful blue and like gold and like the obviously fiery red. They are very variegated and they're not my usual colour scheme. So I'm excited for it as like a challenge, but I'm nervous about it being so out of my colour zone. I think I'm going to, there is a pattern called the Doppio. It's a top down raglan and it uses 3 strands of yarn. So in that one, I mean, I think that one's like 3 skeins of all hand dyed. I'm not doing that, it'd be so expensive. But it's basically 2 strands of fingering weight and a strand of mohair or suri. And I think I'm going to do that, but I'm going to use like commercial yarn for the other 2. I don't know what colours. I like the idea of leaning into the blues or leaning into this like this little patch here of like browny golds. So ultimately what I'll do is pick out, yeah, that's a good, like some of these colours I think. So I think I will do some research. I'm not planning to cast this on straight away. I've got a lot of my needles right now, but when I'm next looking for a top down raglan, that's what I'll do. I will swatch it and see how I'm feeling gauge wise. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the pattern or just the idea of having 3 strands wound together. I have another pattern from the same designer, which is the Dear Duomo, which is a beautiful drop shoulder raglan with insane shaping. I'm lazy. I want the easiest, the simplest, especially for my top down plain basic raglans. I just want chill knitting. I don't want to have to do lots of shaping. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use that pattern or if I'm just going to use my own numbers and make it really easy for myself. I've not decided yet, but my plan is to definitely marl them with a couple. With that, I also got some candles. One of them is already like taking up place in my bathroom, but the book series has 3 male main characters. Each series has basically a male love interest. It has a collection of love interests, but my main love interest, and I have a candle for each of them. Anyone who knows the universe, the best smelling candle is Hunt, and I'm disappointed because he's probably my least favourite male character. Oh, it smells so good. You know, if you're like walking down the street and like someone like usually like almost always like a man walked past and he just smells really nice and you're just like, oh, that smell, that is what this smells like. Oh, it's so good. Very like aftershavey, you know, like very like manufactured smell, but I'm not mad about it. Rice sand. Oh, it smells like very clean, but like spicy clean, and quite like old, but in a nice way. And then Rowan, my favourite. It's probably my least favourite of the smells, but it's bang on. He smells like pine and ice. Yeah, it smells very like, yeah, like I feel like I'm in a Christmas tree shop, but also like a spicy one. So yeah, I don't know, anyone who doesn't read these books is going to be like, why are you smelling candles on your knitting podcast? But I had to share. I was very excited. I started reading Christmas 3. I'm not in the headspace for fantasy this week. It's been so busy. So instead I have not actually gotten into it. I'm only like 10% through. But my original plan had been to cast on the sweater and then to only knit the sweater when I'm reading the book. And I wanted to do it that way. But I don't have space in my needles right now or space in my brain for that sweater. So that's not happening. But that's okay. Cool. My last things then, geez, after this I'm gonna have to stop and take a big breather. So yes, I have a pattern called the Toaster t-shirt. It came out, oh sorry, there's something in my eye. I have a pattern called the Toaster tee. It is a pattern that came out last summer, and then last summer I started working on Toaster tank top. But I didn't have, like, it was too late in the summer and I enjoyed wearing mine, but I kind of put a stopper on the development of it to come back to it this year and release it this year. And so I've been doing some planning. Unsurprisingly, to anyone who watches anything that I do, there are options. So there's going to be a fingering weight and a DK weight version, and it's going to have options for a camisole, so like, you know, like a V camisole, a halter style top, and a vest. More of like a I don't know, I'm calling it a vest. I have a picture of, I think, both the halter and the vest. I'll put pictures in from last summer. I started the camisole, it's in progress somewhere, I didn't finish one. But I've been doing some projects and thoughts on what I want to cast on. See, that means 6 samples, which with a t-shirt or a camisole I'm kind of fine with. So I was trying to do some yarn planning and think about what kind of yarns I want to use, what kind of colours I want to use, I like the idea of trying some new to me yarns so that I could like show a bit of variety. And so last weekend, or like during the week, I ordered some yarns and they all pretty much arrived at the same time. So the first one is 2 yarns from the, I ordered them, I have nothing to say about them yet. Only one of these I've tried before, so I don't, these aren't necessarily recommendations, these are just things that I've ordered and I will report back on. This one is, it's called Woolly Wood and it is from Novita. It is their Earth collection and this is 70% tencel, 30% merino. So I've used tencel in sewing, I've never knitted with tencel before. It is soft, it feels really soft, and yeah, that's all I've got to say about it. 100 grams is 225 meters, so it's pretty much bang on a DK weight gauge. So I think this should work quite well for Tolsta. It is actually, it's a strange one. It's coming out like an olivey green. It's probably a bit more of a goldy, like brassy gold to my eyes. But I do like this colour. I think this is quite similar to my eye colour, so I think this will be quite a nice one. Maybe for the halter. Then I've got this one, which is not so much my colour, if I'm being honest. It's lilac. It's quite pale though. So this might just be on my Tolsta tee and not a tank top. With a tank top, there's a lot of like skin on show, like more skin than a t-shirt. And I feel like if I'm very pale, wearing a very pale colour, I'm gonna look a bit washed out. So this one might not be a tank top. Then a classic drop spell. I know drop spell works for the gauge. I really like this like bold denim-y blue colour, like petrol blue colour. I think probably the tank tank top version will become one of these. I made 2 already in drop spell and I love them both. And then last but not least, I ordered some Katia, which was actually really easy to order in the UK, just as a note for anyone who's ever considered it before. This is 53% cotton, 47% linen. It is just called Katia linen. It is 50 grams, it's 112 meters. So again, a DK weight gauge. It's a really lovely green. It's getting washed out a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely getting washed out by that bright sun, I think. If I hold it up next to the white, will that help? No, not really. It's quite a rich green. It's a very grassy green colour. Yeah, so I've got 4 balls of this. And yeah, time to start planning for that a little bit. Mostly just want to make sure, like I've already got a sample to show for either of those. I like to have a sample of all 3 done by the test. What do I want to do afterwards? I think I'll be taking a couple of Tolstas on holiday on our trip to Australia, New Zealand. So getting ready for that, doing some swatching ahead of time and then planning them out. I'm also planning a black silk version, I think. I also ordered some silk from Knitting for Olive. I ordered yarn from them for the wrap cardigan I'm going to make for my mum's wedding, and whilst I ordered from them directly because I couldn't get the colours, the colour of the mohair and the merino together from anywhere in the UK, so I ordered directly from KFO and ordered some of their silk as well. So at some point I'm going to have to get out all of these, have a little swatch party, work out which ones I want to use for which version and just get going from there. But for now, that was a fun thing to spend money on yarn and do some planning, but I don't have the brain space for that anymore. So that is everything. I've got a little wrap up of the knitting, the Rhue sweater, which I've left, of course, inside out and upside down. Oh, look at the inside of the floats though, don't they look cool? The Rhue sweater is now live, it is available, the link is down below. Feel free to go and have a look around at it, have a nosy. There we go, that corner's not going to come up, there we go. Ta-da! Yes, if you're interested in that one, please do go and have a look. The Tydes sweater is it for testing. You can have a look down below. There'll be a link down below for that one. And Lina pre-order is up if you're interested in having a look at the plaid pattern. And then yeah, a little life update if you're, it will come as no surprise to anyone listening that it's been a chaotic week. It has just been absolutely mad and I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. Behind me is our kitchen and all I can see is like a stack of dishes that need dealt with. And I need to do dishes, I need to do laundry, I need to like get back on top of life. I slept well, so at least I'm back on like catching up on sleep. But yeah, we've got just need to get back on top of things that are to do with that. And then get back to knitting. Our little boat was lifted out of the water this morning. That was another reason that everything's a bit chaotic, is that usually in pattern launch weeks, if we've got like, yeah, at home, like Sam will do more, he'll do some cooking and he'll make sure we're on top of laundry and like things like that if I'm working a lot in the evenings. But our boat came out of the water today, so he's taken the brunt of all of it, dealing with that. So that has just been a lot all at once. So that's been a bit stressful, but the boat is out of the water. It's been happening this morning. I've had pictures through, it's all looking good. The rugby starts this weekend, so I'm super excited to have a few, like Saturday, we're just gonna, like tonight I think, and tomorrow afternoon we'll just sit and chill and watch the rugby together, which I'm really looking forward to. And yeah. Is there anything else happening in life? I don't think so. I published a video last week called What I Knit in a Week. If you're interested, it should just be the next video down below. If you go to my page, it'll be the second to the last video. I got some really nice comments on that one. It's a bit of a different style for me, more like vloggy style. So yeah, feel free to have a watch of that one if you want. And I have got a video coming next week on, I think my video next week is going to be my desert island yarns. So like what yarns, if I could only knit for a couple of yarns at the end of, for the rest of my life, what would they be? So that's coming then. And yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling, yeah, yesterday and the day before were really stressful, but today I woke up, I slept enough, I've had, I've had my coffee, I've had enough water, I'm not dehydrated, I'm not exhausted, and I'm back on top of things. So I'm feeling pretty good now. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. I will be back next week with another video, and until then, happy knitting!